Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture. He's Phil Chambers from WhatCulture. We are here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for WrestleMania. Thanks again to Surfshark. We wouldn't be here without those guys. And we're here to bring you our Night 2 predictions for WrestleMania. If you're wondering where Night 1 predictions are, we'll link to it at the end of this video. But let's dive straight into Night 2 with a tag match I'm really looking forward to, Phil. It is the women's tag team titles on the line. Liv Morgan, what a year she has had so far, and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Bayley and the women's IC champion, Lyra Valkyria.
Yep, I'm not putting any money against Liv Ospreay not on this role. The sort of tag team scene within the women's division's kind of just been there for a bit, but Liv has just been on such an incredible role recently. She just really deserves this big win at WrestleMania. So 100%, yeah, there's no chance for me that Bayley and Lyra Valkyria get this.
So I'm going Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for this one, simply because I love Liv Morgan, and I'm expecting big things from her throughout this year. But I think big picture sort of thing, this WrestleMania is going to be the beginning of the end, if it's not already started, of the Judgment Day. And I think as part of that, them losing the tag titles could factor into it. Plus, long term, I can also see like Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, tag team champions, whilst Lyra's still the IC champion, and then eventually Bayley, after they lose the tag titles, turns on Lyra Valkyria. You can have an absolute banger of a match, like they did just the other week, of course.
But why isn't the IC title on WrestleMania itself? It's only just arrived. Why isn't Chelsea Green on this show either? Yeah. Let's get that out of the way.
A word on her, actually. I hope, we're recording this before SmackDown, obviously. I do hope there's a way that, she's getting Luca Crucifino of the family from NXT to be her legal consultant. I do hope there's a way that she shenanigans her way into hosting WrestleMania.
She deserves something at WrestleMania. This feels like the Bayley year when she was she the host of WrestleMania? It was like, why hasn't she got a spot on the card? Like, she's had such a great year, Chelsea Green. Every moment of TV that she is on is one of the best things on the show, and I don't know how they haven't got her on a big position at WrestleMania.
Yeah, unless they do some sort of thing, we're going to talk about a little while later about them adding more matches to Night 2 of WrestleMania, because there's only 6 right now, and I know the last one's a big one is going to be given plenty of time. Unless they just completely swerve us all and she announces an open challenge for one of the nights of WrestleMania, but I think they may limit her to just a SmackDown before WrestleMania appearance, which would be a real shame. Yeah. I do hope we see more of Chelsea Green over this weekend. Before we continue our predictions, let's have a quick word from our sponsors. It's WrestleMania week. We are here in Las Vegas, courtesy of Surfshark, who are sponsoring all of our content. And Surfshark's VPN is just fantastic. It makes sure all of your stuff stays private and secure when you're out and about online, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Not only that, but it allows you to change your virtual location to access all your favorite content as well, which means you can watch all of WWE shows on Netflix, not just Raw, but SmackDown and NXT too. Plus, no ads whatsoever, which means you'd also get to see all the extra content us Brits get to see, stuff like this.
Can I have an autograph, please?
Your town sucks, kid! Just click the link in the description and use code WhatCultureMania at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Back to our WrestleMania predictions though, Phil, and a match that, it's not really difficult to decide who the people are behind on this one. It's AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Logan Paul for this one, just because I think a little bit of WrestleMania chaos is in order. Yes. I do think it's going to be a fun match. Logan Paul always pulls it out of the bag when he's in these things, and AJ Styles is a safe pair of hands is understating how good AJ Styles is at wrestling, even against someone like a Logan Paul. But yeah, I think this is going to be really good fun. I think it's going to have some really dumb spots in it, like big moment kind of things. But yeah, I think they're just going to add something to Logan Paul, because he's been on a bit of a losing streak, and when he's been arriving, and his kind of appearances, obviously like the law of diminishing returns, it's going to happen. But I feel like they need something to sort of heat him back up again.
I agree. We talked a while back on the podcast about AJ Styles, and he's sort of iffy, not record at WrestleMania, but performances. Like, he's never really had that real standout at WrestleMania for me. He's had some good stuff against Shane McMahon randomly. And, the match with LA Knight was good, but if slightly lost in all of the madness of last year's WrestleMania. I think, Logan Paul can have a phenomenal, pun intended, a really good match with AJ Styles in there. And, do you want to know a bonus prediction? In the Prime bottle this year, we've had KSI, we've had iShow Speed, Karrion Kross. That's what I'm going for. Because he needs to be on WrestleMania. I love him so much. And it would be the funniest thing to have his little head pop out of the little hole in the Prime bottle.
Yep, in the same blue Prime bottle because they only have one.
Let's talk the IC title match. The odds for this, when we were talking about WrestleMania odds on the news the other day, completely threw me for this because it's the champ, obviously, Bron Breakker, taking on Penta and Finn and Dom from the Judgment Day. Dom was the favourite, according to the odds, which was stunning for me. Who's leaving with the IC title and how many spears is Bron going to hand out?
I think Dom winning would be hilarious,
yes.
Especially like what you mentioned before about the breakup of the Judgment Day. If Dom is the one to be able to do it when Finn couldn't, that's just really funny. But I think this one's probably one of the hardest ones to predict out of all of the ones at WrestleMania for both nights, because legitimately it could go to any of those four and it'd be great. I think Penta as a champion like this early on would be a huge moment, but at the same time, like, I don't think it's time to take it off Bron Breakker, but at the same time, if you're ever going to do it, it'd be in a multi-man where he doesn't actually have to get pinned. So I am very torn. I'm going to go with Penta just because I think they're going to do that whole come to WWE and look how much of a push you can get, and go with that angle for it. And he's getting over with the fans, he's getting that connection, and I think that'd just be the next thing to sort of push him along on this momentum. Yeah,
I was inclined to pick Penta as well. I don't see a justification to give it to either member of the Judgment Day. I think there's going to be a phenomenal near fall where Dom collapses onto someone and you go, you can't win it like Ethan Page won the NXT title a while back. But yeah, the disintegration of the Judgment Day is going to continue here because let's say Finn has it won and Dom stops the pinfall, for example. I think just feeds into it really well. So I'm going to give Bron Breakker the win here because I hope he holds it. Like you say, you could easily see them putting it on Penta and Bron if, as we said in our Night 1 predictions, needs an opponent that's non-title after that. Gunther's free. So you could do that. That's an interesting match I want to see.
That'd be good.
And Bron could already be being elevated towards the world title sort of thing. But for the time being, like, you've got so much talent. I'd just like Bron to have a few more months with this IC title for me. But like you said, I could see anyone in this match leaving with it, but Dom would be preposterous.
It would be ridiculous. Bron does need to continue this run of incredible spears, though, and hitting Dom as fast as he humanly could would be really funny. So
can he hit a triple? He's done double. He's killed Carlito. Is there a way to hit a triple spear?
Somehow line them all up and just take them all down. Do it. It's WrestleMania. Make a moment, goddammit.
Yes, we are in Sin City for WrestleMania, of course, and let's talk about the Sin City street fight with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. This is one of those matches, we talked a lot about it in the sort of aftermath of the Rumble and the Chamber, and Drew allegedly making all this noise about, like, is this a big enough match for him at WrestleMania? I think the build they've had has justified this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've pulled this one out of the bag with the build. Like, the moment it kind of got revealed as that this was the direction they were going to, everyone was a bit like, oh. But then the story that they've actually come out with it is one of the way more compelling stories of WrestleMania. So I think they've done a tremendous job of building this one. As far as which direction to go to, again, I'm torn. It could go either way. It depends. I think this one, the question is more on what happens next, rather than this match in itself and who they're going to go with. And it feels like Drew McIntyre's in a bigger position to have something a little bit larger going forwards from this than Damian Priest is at the moment, but at the same time they need to get Damian Priest back up to that level. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre just because I think he's the more immediate person that they'll be doing stuff with afterwards, but I wouldn't be surprised if Damian Priest takes it as well.
Yeah, it could go either way, but I will go Drew McIntyre for this one as well, just for the direction he has going forward after this. Like, Drew after this being like, well, guess I'm in the world title picture. Oh, Jey Uso's the champion. That could be fun. It just makes all the sense in the world. Before they gimmicked up this match, I would have sat here and said, you need to just do basically what Drew did with Seth last year. 10 minutes, balls to the wall, near falls straight out the gate, big shots. I think they still are going to do this, and I think they should. But with the Sin City street fight rules, it's not going to be a nice Monday they're waking up to either, and they're going to be very sore.
They are indeed going to be very sore, but I think at the same time, the card kind of needs that kind of just smash mouth, big, stupid match to like break things up a little bit, and I think this is a perfect spot for it.
Speaking of things that are going to be sore, our heads are going to be bloody sore after the nights we're going to have here. What are we doing over the next few days across WrestleMania weekend, Phil?
We are doing everything. On Friday night, we've got a massive SmackDown watch party at the HyperX Arena, just over there in the Luxor Hotel and Casino. Come join us. Tickets are still available, limited tickets. WhatCulture.com/tickets. There'll be a SmackDown watch party there. There'll be a live ups and downs straight afterwards, a live podcast, and just a general meet and greet and hangout. It's going to be a really good, fun night out.
I'm going to do a stage dive.
He keeps on saying this, and if you don't, I'm going to be real disappointed. But then on Saturday and Sunday, straight after WrestleMania, just take the bridge across the road from Allegiant Stadium and head to the Beam, because we are going to be in Luxor Hotel and Casino at Aurora Bar, which is in the main casino lobby, straight after WrestleMania for both nights, to do a live ups and downs in the casino itself. Open to everyone, first come, first served. Cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. But not only that, just over there by Mandalay Bay on the Monday, we are going to be at Flanker Sports Bar for a big old Raw watch party. So if you can't come and say hi to us this weekend, what the hell is your problem? We're everywhere.
And thank you to the person who shouted out Flanker as we were walking down the strip just the other. I think it was Flanker, he said to me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
What's this coming along next? It's a multi-person match. Who'd have thought it? At WrestleMania, it is the Women's World Championship triple threat. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. A terrible build to this, let's be honest. It seems so easy. They've messed it up, but on the night, I think this could, be the match of the weekend.
Yep, you can't bet against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania because she just pulls it out the bag no matter what the build has been, and has one of the best matches on the card every single time. She's amazing. And I'm going to go with Bianca Belair for the win just because of how interesting that makes the situation with Naomi and Jade Cargill and how that all works with their friendship and breaking up and the feuds going forwards. If you can elevate all of that storyline that's been the best within the women's division so far into a title position situation, I think you've got some money on your hands with that one.
Yeah, I could see any of these women walking out with a title. I think Io's been a brilliant champion and, just has reminded everyone why she's always put in these sorts of spots, because she's amazing. Rhea Ripley is Rhea Ripley. It feels like the way that they've, messed this booking up, they may be turning her heel. So there's maybe a reason to do that she... turns heel. Can she turn heel in this sort of a match? People love her. So maybe she does that to leave with the championship, but I'm going to stick with you. I think Bianca Belair... It's partially it's Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. It's also partially I think they want to keep banging on. They haven't really done a lot of it, but keep building up this undefeated streak. It'll be 5-0, I think, for her at WrestleMania following this. And unless you're bringing in RVD, there's not many other undefeated streaks you can really work with at WrestleMania anymore. Before we get to the main event, a couple of questions, sort of big picture with regards to WrestleMania. As I said earlier, 6 matches on the card for night 2 as we stand. Do you think they're going to add a couple more?
I think they could potentially. There's going to be something else that gets added to this, whether it's a match or like a moment, like they have seemed to do with like the Pat McAfee stuff that they've done in the past.
Shane McMahon?
But you never say never, but no.
He's still got it.
He definitely doesn't. But there's a lot of potential with matches. We've already covered Chelsea Green in how she isn't on this WrestleMania card is just, it's a crime. It's ridiculous. But also the tag team title scene. That has been one that is... Like the sort of build for it hasn't been amazing, but it's been consistently there on TV. They've been telling this story for months now between DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Pretty Deadly. Now they're getting Miz and Carmelo into it. There was rumors about Axiom joining in on all of this. If you could and then the title match got pushed onto SmackDown, and it feels like that's such an underwhelming position when you're coming into a 2-night WrestleMania that you can't have a position for all of these tag teams. So some kind of big multi-tag team schmaz match, I think, could be really good fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't spend... It's probably the longest build to a WrestleMania weekend match has been put into the way they've interchanged all these tag teams. As you said, Street Profits is the champions going in, as of course. But I can just see on SmackDown tonight some sort of shenanigans involving DIY, Pretty Deadly, Mello, Don't Miz... and maybe even Fraxium following, double duty. It'd be the night after, of course. But yeah, Fraxium could drop the NXT tag titles at Stand and Deliver on Saturday and then suddenly show up on the main roster to work this match on the Sunday. I'd like to see that. I know it's a multi-person match, and that's what the theme of this weekend has been, but with the amount of talent you'd have in there, you can't really deny it. Elsewhere, obviously we were meant to have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, and get well soon to Kevin Owens. Some awful stories coming about his neck surgery and how long he's going to be out for. But it's his 20th WrestleMania, I think he said recently. And after what happened last week on SmackDown, I feel like they've looked around, they've gone, we need to just feed someone to Randy Orton. And I know people have said he should go out and do an open challenge, and maybe that's where Rusev comes in. But you then just probably bring in Rusev in to lose, because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Backlash is in St. Louis, and John Cena's probably going to go in as champion. Spoilers for the main event in a second. So I think Orton versus Cena is probably what's going to happen there. So Orton was going to get a win regardless. He was going to punt Kevin Owens in the head. I think he's just going to get Solo Sikoa. To be honest, that match could be less than 5 minutes for me. And in terms of other stuff going on across the weekend, having Jacob Fatu win the US title on one night and Solo Sikoa get murdered by Randy Orton on the next, and then still try and exert his authority over Jacob Fatu, feeds in nicely to the inevitable Solo versus Jacob and the inevitable "I hate you, Solo" bit of all that. So I hope we get that added to the show as well. As we talk about this main event, before we talk about what happens, are we going to see The Rock at all?
I mean, it doesn't feel like it.
Where are you, Dwayne?
Where is he? It's gone real quiet. We can't see him anywhere around here. I don't think so.
Really?
I think it's all just gone a little bit weirdly quiet, and most of the time he's in your face. Like, he lets you know, even if it's not been announced or anything. He's still there. He's still The Rock, and he's gone very, very quiet about this. And it's just, I feel like they've just budged it, to be fair. And I think they're just like, well.
They needed a justification for a Cena turn.
Yeah, and that's kind of all this is going to end up being. I think it's just The Rock being The Rock, and he's just a weird little guy, and he's decided against it this year, and maybe we'll get him next year.
I will be the eternal optimist for Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the greatest wrestler of all time, and I will say not only is he going to be on night 2 of WrestleMania, because it's night 2 of WrestleMania, I think we may well see a glimpse, or at least a tease of him on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, because you can't have him be the justification for John Cena's heel turn and then not be involved whatsoever. I know it's...
Maybe he just comes out at the end of the match, raises John Cena's hand, and steals his moment.
I like that too. I like that as well. But we'll have to wait and see with what happens on SmackDown and WrestleMania. But we got to talk Cody versus John Cena. It's all on the line here. And, well, how do you see it going?
Well, I think we're both giving away what we think is going to happen. I think this is the main event of WrestleMania. I think John Cena's just turned heel, and there isn't a goddamn chance he isn't winning, getting that 17 world champions, becoming the greatest world champion of all time, and going into a big summer run of him as the champion. It's the last year we'll have John Cena. There's no way they aren't giving him the title at some point. And initially, I thought it was going to be a little bit later on down the line, but with the heel turn, it feels like it's just now. And then the matches that you've got from now on are immediately fresh, because we've never seen John Cena as a heel against any of these people, even if it's Randy Orton.
Babyface,
because it's completely different to what we've seen before. So I think, there's no way you don't end this WrestleMania with John Cena standing tall.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got a little bit confused with John Cena basically saying, I'm taking this title with me. I don't think that he's going to say, well, you need a new title now. I think it's going to be a case of, I'm holding on to this and no one can even get near me. And whenever I decide I'm retiring, I'm taking it with me, because he's not retiring after the match at WrestleMania, because they've sold a lot of stuff with regards to him for the rest of 2025. Yeah, Cody Rhodes, I mean, the best wrestler in the world in terms of, fan support and, just the eagerness to see him. Yes, but sorry, Cody, it's John Cena's night, I'm afraid. Whether that's The Rock's involvement or not, I don't necessarily need too many more interferences with regards to a Cody Rhodes world title match. But I think John Cena leaves with the world title. Like you say, it opens up a babyface Randy Orton match in St. Louis for Backlash. You've got CM Punk in Chicago down the line with the flip reverse of John Cena being the one saying, I'm taking this title and I'm leaving with it. I think is just fascinating stuff. You can have, a multitude of baby faces. You can make baby faces. You can make new stars, being the person to be like, look, I know you've beaten all these people, but you've never faced me, John, and I'm going to take the title away from you. It just really explodes what can happen following WrestleMania, and the intrigue around John Cena showing up on the Raw after WrestleMania. And shout out to Hamflet, eagle-eyed. He spotted there was a lack of Cody Rhodes in the advertising. And I know, Cody Rhodes is a SmackDown superstar, but it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Come on, what are we doing? The transfer window's always open, or whatever it is. Look, I think, John Cena is leaving WrestleMania with the world title. And I just think that's the most intriguing option for everybody going forward. And what does Cody Rhodes do? Does he just disappear for a bit? He's worked bloody hard. He deserves a bit of a rest. Or do you have him do some interesting stuff with other people, whether it be non-title related or a draft and he switches brands or whatever it may be? It could be fascinating with him as well. But it's going to be a depressing end to WrestleMania weekend, but an intriguing one nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's one of the things. It will be a weird moment, but Cody had his incredibly nice, one of the nicest moments in WrestleMania history. He's had that. This one feels like it needs to be something a little bit more of a downer, and a heel win at WrestleMania never feels like WrestleMania because it's not that big triumphant ending, but for what it opens up going forwards, I think it's by far the best option.
And Cody's going to have him put on a phenomenal match as well. were lucky enough to be in attendance for John Cena versus Austin Theory.
Yeah,
that was a match. That sure was a match. But, you know, we saw glimpses of what he can do, not just in the Rumble, particularly in the Elimination Chamber. And, I mean, Cody Rhodes could get a great match out of me. So what he can do with John Cena in there. Lightning fist to win it?
Oh, could you imagine? That would be the greatest moment in WrestleMania history. No, but I mean, Cody Rhodes loves this style of main event.
Yeah.
Like, this is Cody Rhodes' bread and butter. And to have that with John Cena, who is very much of that same ilk of just big, dumb storytelling main events, I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and good news, even if you've, you know, tried to save a bit of money and got the cheaper tickets at WrestleMania, you'll still be able to hear John Cena calling the spots wherever you are in the Allegiant Stadium. But let us know your thoughts ahead of night 2 of WrestleMania. Let us know your predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Join us for our shows, whatculture.com/tickets, as Phil said. And if you're wondering where our night 1 predictions are, they're right here. Enjoy WrestleMania. We'll see you soon.